Do fighters need big muscles? It's a contentious question. Some believe that large muscle mass makes the athlete clumsy, while others have a somewhat opposite opinion. Everyone is right in his own way. Nevertheless, most of the fighters practice weight training. In addition, many of them have quite impressive muscles. Many fighters with their awesome appearance can scare anyone. At the same time, they are pretty good at fighting in the ring. In this issue, we will show you 10 fighters that look like bodybuilders. Jeff Monson, height 5.7 feet, weight 231 pounds. Jeff is a mixed martial arts fighter. He is a two-time world champion in wrestling and the world champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. If you are only 5'7" tall and performing in the heavyweight division, you either know a lot about setting up weights or you look impressive. And Monson does both, with his impressive size making him at home in the heavyweight division. In mixed martial arts, Jeff Monson made his debut at the age of 26. He managed to win the World Grappling Championship. A contract was signed with one of the best world associations, the UFC. His debut there turned out to be less than ideal. Jeff lost in 2 of the 3 fights and was sent back to the less prestigious tournaments. To date, Jeff Monson has conducted more than 88 fights in the professional ring, of which he's won 61. Hector Lombard, height 5'7", weight 185 pounds. This mixed-style Cuban-Australian fighter has been performing professionally since 2004 in the middle and welterweight categories. He began his sports career as a judoka, a 3-time judo champion of Cuba, participating in the Sydney Summer Olympic Games. He is known to the general public for participating in fighting tournaments of various organizations, such as the UFC, Bellator, Pride FC, and he held the Bellator middleweight title over the years. Surely many would like to know if Hector actually weighs only 185 pounds due to his strong knockout capabilities. When he's in the ring, it surely seems like he weighs much more. If there were no MMA in the world, bodybuilding would gladly accept the Cuban into its ranks. In recent years, however, he's been plagued by failures, evidenced by 6 defeats in a row. Kevin Randleman, height 5'7", weight 220 pounds. He began his career in sports with performances in wrestling for Ohio University. Having won a number of titles in this field, in 1996 this genetically gifted fighter came to mixed martial arts, where he quickly achieved success and won the love of fans. However, Randleman was more remembered by his fans for his subsequent run in Pride FC, where he stunningly defeated Murilo Rua, Mirko Krokop Filipovic, and a number of other fighters. During his career, he managed to meet the most powerful and eminent fighters of that time, fighting with Chuck Liddell, Quinton Jackson, Bas Rutten, Randy Couture, and, of course, Fedor Emelianenko. Kimbo Slice, height 6'1", weight 230 pounds. Kimbo gained world fame thanks to street fighting. Icy Mike became his first manager, organizing street fights between Kimbo and other equally large fighters. In 2003, videos of Kimbo first hit the internet and gained a huge number of views. Kimbo Slice, in literally a month, became quite popular all over the world. The doors of the best halls in the world were open for this popular street fighter. In 2006, Kimbo Slice began training under the guidance of the MMA legend Bas Rutten. In June 2007, he made his debut in professional fighting MMA. Todd Duffy, height 6'2", weight 250 pounds. With such size, you can look different even when you are an MMA fighter. Todd began his professional career in 2007, taking part in promotional tournaments such as with the UFC, K1, and JF. For a while it seemed that he could not be defeated. Todd had 6 victorious fights and recorded the fastest knockout in UFC history. Then along came Mike Russo, and he ruined Duffy's undefeated reputation forever. Duffy battled with the veteran for 3 rounds and then missed once and was knocked out. Later on, he fought with Alistair Overeem in Japan, a fighter that he could compete with only in size. But the Japanese were always looking for a good show and organized a duel between the two. This was Todd Duffy's 2nd defeat. Bobby Lashley, height 6'2", weight 270 pounds. Bobby, nicknamed the Dominator, is one of the crossover stars that can effectively take a hit and knock out an opponent in a real battle. He has an impressive fighting record with 15 wins and only 2 losses. Until 2008, Lashley wandered around various brands of the WWE Universe. It seems Lashley has always strived for diversity, and in 2009, without stopping his career as a wrestler, he tried himself in mixed martial arts under the auspices of the Mixed Fighting Alliance. Mariusz Pudzianowski, height 6'1", weight 270 pounds. At 16, he weighed 352 pounds, and later on he won the title the strongest man in the world 5 times. In his first fight, he easily defeated Marcin Najman, who had a record of 13-4. Striking his opponent's legs with armor-piercing low kicks, Mariusz finished off the poor fellow on the ground in little more than a half a minute, with the judge struggling to pull him away from the enemy. After that, he went on to 9 more fights, of which he won 5. Bob Sapp, height 6'3", weight 330 pounds. A charming and charismatic fighter, Bob Sapp is a professional mixed martial artist, actor, and a former American football player. By fate's will, his sports career originally flourished in Japan, where after a contract with famous promoters, including the K1 and the Rizin Fighting Federation, the athlete became a very successful showman, now performing in the pro category. Until the end of the 2000s, Bob entered the ring against weaker opponents and, contrary to expectations, lost most of the matches. When, after losing to the Russian Alexander Emelianenko, journalists called Sapp a punching bag, he said in an interview that the main thing about his battles was the spectacular side. Indeed, the fights with the participation of the Beast were distinguished by a certain choreography and charm, which were useful to him on the set of the comedy All or Nothing. And from that moment on, Bob annually replenished his own filmography, participating in the films Conan the Barbarian, Amazing Power, and Blood and Bone. Brock Lesnar, height 6'2", weight 280 pounds. An American wrestler known for his performances in the style of fights conducted by the MMA. The athlete is an ex-UFC heavyweight champion. In 2000, the athlete signed a contract with the WWE. Curt Hennig became his coach. But the career of the young fighter somehow did not work out right away. At first he injured his knee, and then he was suspected of taking steroids. However, later on all charges against him were dropped. In October of 2007, Lesnar again abruptly changed direction, signing a contract with the UFC. He became a fighter in the No Rules League. Lesnar lost his debut in the new status, but won the second battle against Heath Herring with a noticeable advantage. In 2009, Lesnar underwent surgery, but nevertheless managed to return to UFC 116 and defeat the off-season champion Shane Carwin, becoming the absolute champion of the league in the heavyweight. In 2011, he was again overshadowed by a second surgical operation. Despite this, Lesnar stepped again onto the UFC platform, but lost to Alistair Overeem. After that, he left the MMA. Alistair Overeem, height 6'3", weight 264 pounds. Initially working the rings of the MMA, Overeem eventually moved to the Pride FC, having knocked out his opponent in the debut fight in 45 seconds. Later in his Pride career, he alternated victories and defeats, exclusively from eminent fighters, among whom, for example, was the Russian Sergei Kharitonov, who he challenged again for the heavyweight championship under the auspices of Strikeforce in November 2007. A revenge match was delayed for 3 years due to an injury in a brawl with the guards. In 2011, having convincingly defeated Brock Lesnar in the UFC, the Destroyer promised Junior Dos Santos a similar defeat, but his plans were upset because of an unsuccessful doping test. After the fight with Lesnar, he went on to a record of 15 more fights, where he won 9. Thanks for watching. Please press the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel as well. See you soon.